Number 3 is a good time manager does difficult tasks first. Right? Do the hard things first. They do the hard things first. And a good time manager doesn't make personal calls, because that could be very distracting. All right. Number 2, what does a weak time manager do? So the first one is done for us. Procrastinates. Right. I put in a weak time manager allows people to interrupt them. A weak time manager gets on social media, Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and next thing you know, time is gone. A weak time manager checks emails frequently. A weak time manager works on several things at once. And then a weak time manager makes personal calls. That's what I wrote. If you want, please share with me what you wrote, and we can have a good discussion about it during our Zoom meetings. B. Complete the chart about yourself. My time management skills. How I manage time well. Number 1. So in here, you can write down your own personal time management skills, how you manage time well, and how you manage time poorly. For me, number 1, with how I manage time well, I try to start my work in the morning, early in the morning before everybody gets up. Now that more people are in the house all day and everybody has their thing going on, I have to find time early in the morning to get in my office and start my work. When I get in the office in the morning and start my work, number 2, I try to take care of all the difficult tasks first. Things that require me to really think and to concentrate. And number 3, I try not to answer personal calls or emails. I try to set a timer where I will work for an hour or 2, and then I will stop when appropriate, and then I can check my emails, I can get up, I walk around, do things like that. How I manage time poorly. Sometimes I sleep late or get up late, especially when I'm working late at night. The next morning I don't really get up on time. How I manage time poorly. Number 2, sometimes I allow my sons to come in and ask me about their schoolwork, and that's just something we can't really stop, because we care about our kids. We have to make sure that they're doing well too. So sometimes we have to work a little late in order to make sure that they're on track. And then how I manage time poorly. Sometimes I get personal calls that I think are very important and I have to answer. So if I'm really focused on my work and someone important calls me and I take that call, it distracts me. Now I have to work really hard to get back into the flow of my work and get motivated to work again. Okay, those are my answers. What about yours? Talk with a partner. In general, are you a good time manager or a weak time manager? Tell me why you think so. So that would be something that we could talk about during our Zoom meetings. Or you can also throw up a comment in our WhatsApp chat room and allow people to talk back and forth. All right. Read the paragraph. How Lucinda manages her time. Lucinda is not a very good time manager. For example, this is the way she does her homework. First, she sits down and takes out her books. 2 minutes later, she decides to get up. She decides to get a cup of coffee. She goes to the kitchen, makes coffee, and returns to her desk. Before she starts reading, she checks her email. Then the phone rings. It's her best friend. They talk for 20 minutes. After they hang up, it's 9 p.m. Wow. Time for Lucinda's favorite TV show. She watches the show from 9 to 10. Then she studies from 10 until 1:30 a.m. Of course, she is tired in the morning. In summary, Lucinda is a weak time manager because she procrastinates. In our box here, use one of the following phrases before your conclusion to introduce it. For instance, in conclusion, to conclude, in summary. Work with a partner. Answer the questions. What is the topic sentence? Lucinda is not a very good time manager. How many examples does the writer give about Lucinda? Well, first, she sits down, so that's then, and takes out her book, so that's 1. 2 minutes later, she decides to get up to get a cup of coffee, so that's 2. She goes to the kitchen, makes her coffee, and returns back to her desk. Before she starts reading, she checks her email, so that's number 3. She checks her email. Then the phone rings. It's her best friend. They talk for 20 minutes, so that's 4. Now she's talking for 20 minutes with her friend. After they hang up, it's 9 p.m. It's time for Lucinda's favorite TV show. She watches the show from 9 to 10. So that's 5. 5 things, 5 examples of Lucinda's time management skills. Which phrase introduces the conclusion? I think it would be in summary. In summary, Lucinda is a weak time manager because she procrastinates. Right. Number 2, write a paragraph about yourself or someone you know who is a good or a weak time manager. Say that kind of time manager you are in writing about the topic sentence. Include examples to support your topic sentence and a phrase to introduce your conclusion. Use exercises 1A and 1C to help you. One A, 1C. Use these two to help you to write a paragraph about about yourself or someone you know who is a good or a weak time manager. And please share that with me. You can email it to me, or you can send it in a private chat in WhatsApp, or if you feel really good about it, you can just send it to everybody in WhatsApp and we can all read it. Let's move on. After you write, check your writing. Number 1, my topic sentence says what kind of time manager I am, or the person that you're writing about is, Yes or no? Include examples to support your topic sentence. Number 3, I used a phrase to introduce my conclusion. Conclusion. In conclusion. To conclude. In summary. B. Share your writings with a partner. Take turns. Read your paragraph to a partner. Comment on your partner's paragraph. Ask your partner a question about the paragraph. Tell your partner one thing you learned. Alright, that would be a great exercise to do using Zoom. And like I said before, if you want me to help you to set up partners in Zoom, I can do that, no problem. If you need my help, just let me know. Let's move on. Okay, so let's move on to Lesson F, another view. Let's turn over to page 80. Alright, so here we have life skills reading. Here is a pie chart of time use of working parents. And if you notice down here, this is the time use on an average workday for an employed person, for employed persons aged 25 to 54 with children. All right, so this is with children, and this information comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics American Time Use Survey. All right, so let's go over this pie chart real quick. All right, so let's obviously the big chunk of time here is work, right? So on average, employed persons with children work 8.8 hours a day. So this is a total of 24 hours. The next chunk of time is sleep. So sleep is 7.8 hours. And then we have leisure time. Leisure and sports, 2.6 hours. Other is 1.5 hours. Then we have leisure, and then we have caring for family members, 1.2 hours. Household activities, like I guess cooking and cleaning, 1.1 hour a day, and eating and drinking, 1 hour a day. All right, so that includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 1 hour. Wow, it's not a lot of time. All right, so this is our pie chart. This is the information that we are going to talk about when we go down to Section A. All right, Section A. Read. Read the questions. Look at the pie chart and fill in the answer. All right. So, number 1, who is the chart about? So, if we look here, this chart is about employed persons ages 25 to 54 with children. Okay. Which activity do these people spend the least time doing? The least time. So that would be eating and drinking. Okay, eating and drinking. Which activity do these people spend the most time doing? The most time. That would be, unfortunately, working. That's about right, though. Working. And number 4, which statement is true? People spend less time working than eating, drinking, and sleeping combined. People spend less time working than eating, drinking, sleeping combined. Well, I don't think that's true, right? Because eating, sleeping, and drinking combined, no, I don't think that's true. People spend more time working than eating, drinking, and sleeping combined. People spend more time working than eating, drinking, and sleeping combined. What do you think? C. People spend as much time working as eating, drinking, and sleeping combined. Well, if they spend if they spend more time working, then they wouldn't spend as much time eating, drinking, and sleeping, right? And then none of the above. All right, so let's see what I came up with here. Who is the chart about? Employed people with children. Number 2, which activity do these people spend the least time doing? B, eating and drinking, the least time. Which activity do these people spend the most time doing? Working. And then which statement is true? None of the above. So I hope you got these right. Let's move on. Solve the problem. Give your opinion. Lisa is a single mom with 2 teenage girls, ages 13 and 15. Lisa works full-time. Recently, her boss asked her to work overtime every Monday. The pay is good, so she wants to accept, but she is already very busy. What can Lisa do differently if she wants to work overtime on Mondays? Well, unless she starts taking in less sleep, then she'll have to start doing less of a few things, right? So leisure and sports, that's usually the first thing that goes, right? And then others, we don't really know what that other is. So that could be, I don't know, if working includes traveling back and forth to work, then others would not be her time in the car, her commute time. So other, we just don't know what other is, but it seems like it's time that she could take to work overtime. So she will probably, because she has children, she will need to care for her family members. She definitely needs to eat and drink. Maybe if her children and husband take over the household activities, she might get this time. So that would give her a total of 5.2 hours that she could actually work overtime. So take some time and write out what you think Lisa would do here. She has 2 teenage girls, so ages 13 and 15, right? We can see here what her time is spent doing, 24 hours. She's pretty busy. And then maybe you could think about what you would do if you were in her situation. All right? All right. So let's move on.